located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002 for Dennis J. Courtney, M.D.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health, for every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health, heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, for each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, well, it's just about here. He's coming. Talking about Dr. Edward Kondrot, of course. Next week, be about a week from today that he kicks off all his festivities out there at the Marriott Airport. But he comes to town well announced. We had him on the show last month, and in anticipation for his arrival, are bringing him aboard once again today. I got a number of questions you raised from his last appearance on the show. I call them my I questions. I'll ask them. I promised you I would, and I will. Also, we'll get some an opportunity to let you ask more questions if you'd like. The number, of course, to do that is 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. There are alternative, unconventional treatments for the eye, as there are for every other single thing else. It's just that you're not as familiar with them as this gentleman is. In fact, he has his claim to fame as the only homeopathic ophthalmologist in the country, and I keep saying, for that matter, the world. I don't think there's too many of them out there that do it. But you who have eye disorders or know someone that does, and I get very frustrated, and you are getting very frustrated with the lack of response from those treatments. I'm talking about those particularly with macular degeneration. I think the number 2 is glaucoma. These two have some pretty pathetic responses with conventional treatment. And if your eye acuity and your visual acuity is declining, you just need to get another look, another way, and we'll talk about it today. And, of course, a week from now, Dr. Kondrot will be coming to town. We'll talk about how his seminar is shaping up, how if anybody out there has a mind to sign up. I know he limits it to 12. We'll find out where he stands with that. Today we're going to be talking about eye disorders in anticipation of his arrival here in a week. Speaking of a week, by the way, should I mention this is the perfect time for it, that when he gets here, he's going to have a free seminar out at that Marriott Airport, which is at the Montour Run exit of the Parkway West, just over the top of the hill and down the back side of all that clutter up there at Robinson Township. But that big hotel sitting off to the left, right at the Montour Run exit, is the one we're talking about. 10 o'clock on Sunday, he'll be there. I'll be there, and I like spending a few minutes with you talking about, well, I never know what I'm going to talk about, but I'll come up with something, and I'm sure he'll have it programmed for you for the remaining part of the, I think it's about a 3-hour free seminar for you all. And in anticipation, those that are going to be involved in his treatment seminar, maybe you'd be in the crowd and might decide that you're going to do just that. So a lot of eye festivities today with Dr. Edward Kondrot, favorite son of Pittsburgh, now returning. 3rd time in a year. Who knows? Let's try to make it 4. Be back right after that first break with Ed. Speaking about some other calendar items that are forthcoming, on Wednesday, Christopher Moore is going to be with us. He's going to be talking about claims 4 advances that could end heart disease. I want to know what they are. I'm not so sure I've heard of them, at least expressed in that way, but I'm so anxious to hear the message from Christopher Moore. Is going to be with us on Wednesday this week. Then next Monday, a week from today, Dr. Eric Shapira a gerontologist. Is this a specialty studying and treatment of aged individuals, senior citizens. And with the baby boomers, this is it. They have arrived. They are on the doorstep of their Medicare years. Anyway, the industry of senior care and all sorts of arrangements for senior living going to be very much in the economic world of the up-and-coming near future, with all the baby boomers, including me, moving down that pathway. Anyway, we're going to be talking to him with respect to the golden years, the diseases to be found in them, how the treatments vary, and the like, and so on and so forth. Dr. Eric Shapira is going to be with us on the 22nd. That's pretty much the way the calendar shapes up. As it always turns out, there'll be more folks who volunteer to come aboard at this hour as time moves on. Always want to mention our three favorite affiliations. One, Through the Spirit. If you got a mind to sample the Through the Spirit, the delicious tasting 14 fruit purees, you can do it two ways. Either come on in there to the office, we'll give you a free taste of the stuff. I think you'll agree it's excellent tasting. And then you can order it after you've tried it. If you feel, well, just let me try some, go on to either the website or call this 800 number. The 800 number is 1-800-442-3793, 1-800-442-3793. Or you can do it techie style online at fruitspirit.net. Not fruitofthespirit.net, it's fruitspirit.net. You'll be listening for the spots that Deborah does. She does a great job of them, too. Also want to encourage those that have, well, for sure, pain problems, because I know how the responses are going out there. I've seen enough now to know it's really in only the rare case it doesn't respond. I am not as sure yet, because I haven't had enough experience yet with the issues of energy and the ability to allow for restful sleep. Yet there are these 3 chips made by a company, these holographic chips. You first heard about them here. They're probably starting to work their way around the Pittsburgh area now. Other practitioners will get them. I'm happy for that. I'm glad they will. I absolutely encourage them to explore this for their patients. But these little holographic chips you place on the skin, nothing, you don't swallow anything, nothing gets inside of you in the way of a drug or a substance. Yet the responses, at least for the pain chips, have been pretty good. So how you get them? Well, you come in for just a regular consult with me, and in the course of it, I'll find out which one of those 3. Pain seems to be winning. A lot of folks have pain issues that they want to have dealt with. And I'll place a chip on you, and we'll see how it works. Usually before you end up leaving the office, we have your response, and they've been pretty good. Or you can just go to the website. Here's that website address again. It is the actual website address, so don't email me to tell me it wasn't really there. I've tried enough times now. It is there. It's www.drcourtney, spelled with a D-R, no period after D-R, C-O-U-R-T-N-E-Y, Dr. Courtney, .ciara, C-I-E-A-U-R-A.com. drcourtney.ciara.com, and then it opens up. You'll see my name there and a bunch of descriptive words about these chips. Then you can order them right online if you have a mind to. Also, we're still putting that APB out for all diabetics. I think that, well, the motivation initially was footwear, but all the diabetic supplies, I think we can help out here, at least with the supplies, have them delivered to your door, and with the shoes, get a custom fitted pair of shoes, and insurances will take care of it. So take me up on my offer, folks. Give me a call. We'll get you lined up to see Mr. Alan Ridgway. We had him on the show a couple weeks ago. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Okay. Oh, want to mention, Danville kept saying he couldn't get us. Okay, he was having trouble. And I checked with my techie, and so here's the current report on the status of the electronics of this show. Streaming right now is what is we're having difficulty with. It's not us, it's the server, whatever that means. And steps are being taken to rectify it so that streaming, which is that techie term, that while I do the show like right now and live, that those who live elsewhere, Danville being a good example, can literally watch and listen to the show as I'm doing it. Now, that's the part that's been affected. So when Danville said the other day, hey, I've gone to the library, I've gone here, I've gone there, things looked okay right here at the panel as I was doing the show, but as it turned out, and talking to my techie, no, he was already aware of the problem. He's working on we're switching servers, and it's my understanding that as of right now, they have not been switched. So streaming is not possible at the moment, I believe. However, the archives are fully working. So, like if someone wanted to listen to the show now and really can't, you can go to the website at djcmd.com, and whenever I log the show on the site, it's available. So you might have to miss it live, but you can pick it up by just going to the archives at djcmd.com. Opening page, there is a large announced little placard there that says archives. Click on archives, and all the shows open up, and they are working. And I did try them, and I know they are still working. So that's the status of our electronics at the moment. I didn't realize that we had a streaming issue, but Danville kept saying he was having difficulty, and lo and behold, my techie said he already knew about it. Well, that's what he said. Anyway, it's getting corrected. Okay, so that we have some time with Dr. Ed, let's do this. Let's take a short break. And in the interim, I'm going to dial Dr. Ed up. We're going to spend the remainder of the hour with him. He's coming to town, folks. You got eye questions, you can ask him today. You can ask him directly when he gives his free seminar there on the 21st. And if you really want treated for it, he'll arrange for that too. Anyway, his name is Dr. Edward Kondrot. He's a Pittsburgh boy. Really made well. Went out to Phoenix, but he still keeps coming back home. Third time this year. Be back in a moment with Dr. Kondrot.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instruction, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Want to help your family eat healthier? Instead of learning to disguise tofu in wondrous ways, how about some real nutritional power? If your family has the typical American palate for fries, pizza, and burgers, giving your family the blessing of good nutrition is a struggle. Fruit of the Spirit is the answer for your family's nutritional needs. Fruit of the Spirit is an all-natural whole fruit puree made from fresh fruits native to the Holy Land with alkalizing minerals. Fruit of the Spirit was 5 years in the formulation, the work of a team of top nutritional experts with independent science to confirm its antioxidant power. 1 ounce a day provides the equivalent of 5 servings of fruits and minerals. Fruit of the Spirit is convenient, affordable, and delicious. Even your picky family will sing the praises of Fruit of the Spirit. Give your loved ones the blessing of good nutrition. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call us now, 1-800-442-3793.
Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you on this Monday version of the show. We got rain. We didn't get the amount that we thought we would get, and the flooding has been very minimal, and things are going to start to get cleaned up around here as some sunshine will hit us tomorrow. At least that's the way I understand the weather is going. The sun is always shining in here, and now especially today when a favorite son in Pittsburgh is getting ready for a return back home from his now Phoenix venue. You know him as probably one of the most different and uniquely qualified ophthalmologists literally in this entire world. Board certified as he is in ophthalmology, trained in other areas and other ways of treating eye disorders. He comes to town in a week to bring his treatments back home for a record third time this year, and I find out there's actually even a fourth in the offing. Of course, you know him as Dr. Ed. I'm talking about Dr. Edward Kondrot, who's with us right now. Let's say good morning and welcome back, Ed, and won't be long before you're back in town.
Thank you so much, Dr. Courtney, for your kind words, and we're really looking forward to this coming Pittsburgh trip, and I hope that the weather continues to improve. You mentioned rain, as long as there's not snow.
No, boy, we had threats of floods this weekend. You know how it gets with all this, these valleys and rivers. And with the big snows we had, we thought we were going to, we did have flooding, but not nearly what we could have. It's supposed to be sunshiny the rest of the week, Ed. Probably that signals because the fact that you're coming to town. Be that as it may, that I said the sun's always shining here. The issue of your free seminar and your treatment seminars, probably we want to open with that and say, okay, you get into town probably next Saturday. Talk to us a bit about the festivities for Sunday, and then what you intend to do between Monday and Thursday of next week.
Well, Sunday I'm offering a free seminar. It's called Learn 10 Essentials to Improve Your Eyesight and Your Vision, and this will begin at 10 o'clock at the airport Pittsburgh Marriott, which is right, I think it's on Aiken Road in Coriopolis.
Right off the Montour Run exit.
And that'll be starting at 10 o'clock, and this is a free seminar which will go from 10 a.m. until 2 or 3 until everyone's questions are answered. And then beginning Monday, we're starting our evaluation and our 3-day treatment program. This is an opportunity for patients to be evaluated and for me to give them specific information on different therapies that might be able to help their vision. And in fact, what we plan to do then over those 3 days, we're actually going to be administering these therapies to see if it helps improve their vision. So if they do then have an improvement of vision, then we're going to develop a program for them so they can continue these treatments over the course of the year, and we'll monitor the activity to see how they're progressing.
Yeah, I learned last time with you, and I heard you just mention it now. You begin these alternative treatments during their treatment seminar, and if they respond, they should get a response in the 3 days, 4 days, subjective improvement as they should be able to say, right? It's how they feel about their vision, and they should be able to notice an improvement in that 3 or 4 days, and then if they do, you have a regime that they can follow while you may leave town, but they can continue to improve even after you're gone?
Yeah, well, it's important that we monitor their progress and we keep tabs at what they're doing. So part of the program is that we conduct a follow-up every 3 months on the telephone. And then I'll be back in the city in 6 months then for that 6-month visit to see how they're doing, and then we'll reevaluate different parameters that we're treating, and to see their progress, and then kind of fine tune the system. But I'm also happy that you're going to be participating in the program, and that you're going to be speaking on it.
I'll be out there on Sunday. Yes, I certainly will. I enjoy doing it every time I come to town, and
because I can't emphasize how important your therapies are. Your nutritional protocols, your IV therapies, in particular chelation, that are actually part of my program in helping folks to improve not only their vision but their health.
Yeah, I know. The vascular system being such an important component to visual disorders as it is to a whole bunch of other problems. Certainly, over the years, I've been amazed sometimes. Literally at first, and now I don't get amazed anymore. People who are coming in for some cardiovascular issues, vision wasn't even mentioned. They tell me 6 months later how much their vision improved. And at first, I didn't know quite how to take it, but I've come to expect that there are visual benefits from these cardiovascular treatments. So we certainly wouldn't mind continuing them after you return to Phoenix. And while they're in town here, I know that you always send patients over for us to monitor and continually allow them to receive these IV treatments, even in your absence, to make sure they get a continued response of improvement.
One thing I'd like to comment is the seminar. I'm going to try to share with folks some basic essentials to improve your vision. You know, we start with diet, we start with hydration, balancing the autonomic nervous system or reducing stress. And these factors are so critical even before you begin some specific therapies, such as microcurrent or chelation or homeopathy. You need those fundamentals in your life by looking at your diet. We are what we eat. Food is the best medicine. And unfortunately, I think that's one of the biggest health problems that our country is faced with right now is our pathetic diet. We have to make some drastic changes in terms of incorporating more organic living food in our diet and avoiding foods with preservatives and pesticides and toxins. And my friend Dr. Rowan sums it up very well. He said, if it has a label on it, don't eat it.
Very good. And that sounds something that Bob Rowan usually says it, and it's so true. It's so apropos. Eating organic would probably be a good byline to follow. Wouldn't you think so, Ed?
Oh yes, organic. And then the next step is not, if you eat organic food that's cooked or steamed, it can lose some of its nutritional value. So that's why, part of our program we advocate our 70-30 diet. 70% of your food should be organic living, not cooked or steamed, to get those healthy nutrients into your body. Because when you have a disease like macular degeneration or glaucoma, your body is struggling. And I do believe the body has the ability to heal itself. So you need those fundamental nutritional building blocks in your body, for repair and for healing. And if you don't have those, nothing else is going to do the trick.
Now, you mentioned, just in passing a second ago, and I think I'll ask you in a more formal way, people who are listening to us today, and I know each and every time that you're coming to town, I ask this question again, but there's always new listeners here. Sitting out there listening to you speak today, hearing that you're coming to town with individuals who might have eye problems, what eye problems do you think that should and would be best able to be treated by you, especially in this treatment seminar? I heard you mention macular degeneration. If it's not the number one, it's certainly the number two leading cause of blindness in the elderly, right?
Macular degeneration is probably the leading cause right now.
The leading cause.
Leading cause. And then we also look at treating glaucoma, cataracts. Essentially people, just like in your business, Dennis, you always like to see people at the early stages of disease, not at the end stages. So ideally, it's the patient who's beginning to have visual problems, trouble focusing, things are blurred, and maybe they went to their eye doctor and he told them nothing can be done. You have early macular degeneration. Maybe your pressures are borderline. This is the ideal patient, someone who's in the early stages of disease that we can help strengthen their body, begin to improve the circulation to the eye, put them on the right path, so to speak, so they can have a visual improvement. And unfortunately, most of the patients that I see are the ones that are at the opposite end of the spectrum.
Down the road, far down the road.
The ones that had multiple injections, laser therapies, cataract surgery, glaucoma surgeries, and their vision is getting worse, and then they sort of give up or they're abandoned by traditional medicine, and they're looking for an alternative. And that's when they find me, and we try to get them on a good program. And of course, those cases are always more difficult because there's a lot of scar tissue, damage to the eye, but still, the things that we institute help strengthen the body and strengthen the eye. And even in some of these end-stage cases and severely damaged eyes, we see an improvement of vision, which is very rewarding for me and very exciting for patients who are at the end of the ropes.
Now, when it comes to the treatment seminars, I had asked you off air just before we got started, but I'll ask you now for the benefit of those who listen to us, get any openings? Because I know you cut this thing off at 12. And that's why you've had to come to Pittsburgh so often, because you filled up every time you came, and you had to take the name so you could come back again. You still got openings for this particular treatment seminar?
Yeah, we still have a few openings. I'm not sure of the exact number, but I think we're up to 9 or 10 at this point. So we do have a few openings.
And a few openings?
I'm also really happy I'll be coming back in June.
That was the other thing I wanted to make sure that the listeners knew, that that'll be the fourth time in a year, won't it? Four times.
I love the folks in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh, even though I'm living now in Phoenix, Arizona, I still consider Pittsburgh my home. And the solace that I have is maybe 2 miles from my home in Phoenix is the largest Steeler bar in the country.
Really?
Harold's OK Corral.
Oh, that's great. And we're going to be going into football season here. If we get our quarterback, we don't know whether he's going to be in jail.
In fact, there's a huge sign visible from miles away, and it states Heinz Field West.
Oh, that's it. Every town seems to have a Steeler bar, but this one looks like it's gone to great lengths, as boasting to be the biggest and the best.
In fact, when Pittsburgh played Arizona, over 5,000 people showed up. They had 3 large circus tents to accommodate everybody.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, it'll be a highlight whenever I come out. I know you keep inviting me out. We're going to have to go to that bar, Ed.
You and I will.
2 miles from the house.
And you have an open invitation.
I know you keep saying that. I'm going to take you up on it, too. There's not going to be any doubt about it. Okay, so, by the way, if somebody's sitting there right now and goes, he's got only a couple slots left, I want to do something about it now. Could you give us the phone number, the office phone number, that they could call up to reserve that spot for them?
That number, it's toll-free, 1-800-430-9328. Or you can also go online and look at our website, which is www.healingtheeye, and that's all one word, healing and the eye, E-Y-E. And we also have a newsletter that goes out every month where I try to educate people on different aspects of alternative therapies and how these alternative therapies could help them.
Oh, that sounds like there's a wide range to get information about what you do, and then that number at the office, I jotted it down, 1-800-430-9328 to reserve one of the few spots remaining, but never fear, Pittsburgh. Your favorite son will return, and June, he's already mentioned, he's going to be back in June.
Oh, and just be aware that there is a 3-hour time difference now, and that's why
nobody's at the office.
My mind isn't as sharp as it usually is because it's 5:30 in the morning right now.
I know, and nobody's going to be in the office for a while, so don't be calling that number right now. Nobody will answer. Fair enough, said Ed?
Fair enough, yes.
Fair enough. Now, look, I know we're going to get barrage with calls, so they're already starting. You don't mind taking them as they come, do you?
Not at all.
Look, come on in the store. You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot. Go right ahead. Hello. Go ahead.
Are you there?
Oh, we're here. Go right ahead.
Dr. Kondrot, I had 20 years ago at your office, I had radial keratotomy done for nearsightedness.
Okay.
And it's worked tremendously since. But I just found at the age of 60 that I need cataract surgery. And my ophthalmologist is not quite sure what the result is going to be because of the radial keratotomy. I had it done before the laser was approved. Have you had any experience with results of cataract surgery.
Well, that'd be an
after
interesting
that.
question. You had, I didn't realize you did radiokeratotomy when you were here, Ed, 20 years
that
ago.
was a very, very popular surgical procedure 20 years ago, and we helped quite a few people with that procedure.
And now those people are reaching the ages where they could develop glaucoma, huh?
Or
cataracts.
Or other problems. But, the first question I have is how much is this cataract limiting your vision at this point? Because a lot of times eye doctors and patients, they're diagnosed with the cataract, and even though they may not be visually limited, they say, well, let's go ahead, let's get the cataract removed. Number one, I would say, is try to avoid the cataract surgery. Maybe begin by attending the seminar. It'd be good to see you on Sunday.
I plan to.
Oh,
and then
good.
we can talk about some things to help slow the progression of the cataract and, believe it or not, actually reverse some of the visual posture
was that
of
the
cataract.
surgery? I'm scheduled for the first one on March 30th.
Good.
To just answer your question, the reason why it's tricky is, remember when before you had the radiokeratotomy, you had thick glasses.
Yes.
Maybe a -4 or -6. So when eye doctors do cataract surgery now, they put it in a lens implant, and that lens implant is to correct any refractive errors. So because you've had radiokeratotomy, that kind of puts a monkey wrench in the calculations.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have to be very careful to make sure that they insert an intraocular lens which has that modified power. And the modified power is the change that you had with the radiokeratotomy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the calculations become tricky.
Yeah, that's what he's, a little leery. I mean, he admits that he is not sure how it's going to turn out, and it kind of scares me.
Yeah, and in some cases you need what they call a lens exchange. Let's say you have the cataract surgery and you end up with thick glasses. Then the doctor has to go back in and remove the lens implant and put in a different power.
Well, look, wonderful question, and it's certainly glad to hear you're going to come out to the seminar. Going to have a chance to talk to Dr. Kondrot. He's an old friend of yours, evidently.
Yeah.
Never really thought of the nuances that come with the technology as it had advanced. Radiokeratotomy still done much anymore, Ed?
Very, very little. I think it's still a good procedure for low refractive errors, like maybe a -1 or a -2.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, maybe after cataract surgery, if the wrong lens implant is put in, you can sort of fine-tune it with radiokeratotomy. But now, the laser has become a kind of state-of-the-art because it's much more predictable.
Mm-hmm.
But the laser surgery has problems too, with scar tissue, problems healing. So, my advice is always, I'm not against surgery, but I think it's advisable for people to look at alternative treatments.
Hold up with that surgery, ma'am, at least for sure, until you get a chance to see Dr. Ed when he's in town. I'll be looking forward to seeing you out there, and I know Dr. Edward Kondrot will be looking forward for that also, okay?
Thank you. And I have to set a follow-up appointment with you, Dr. Courtney, too.
Oh, come on in and see. We'll do it both together.
I saw you a few weeks ago.
Oh, great. Well, we're glad to hear that.
All right, then. Thank you very much, doctors.
Okay.
Thank you.
We may share this patient, Ed. How about that? That's interesting how that works out. No surprise, though, I guess, for both of our perspectives. You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot today, 412-825-6262. He's here in anticipation of his arrival in Pittsburgh, sort of getting everything set. There's a free seminar. You're hearing about it next Sunday at the Airport Marriott, right at the Montour Run exit, right out there. All that clutter at the top of the hill, Robinson Town Center, go at the back side of the hill. That's that first exit back there, and that big hotel you can see as you're turning off the Parkway is the one where it's going to be held 10 o'clock. It's going to go for until 2 or 3. Going to get a lot accomplished out there, and then going to be ready to, the very next day, kick off the treatment seminars. You're hearing all about it today from the man who's going to run the entire show, Dr. Edward Kondrot. He's with you. Let's do this, Ed. How about taking a short break? When we come back, in the interim, some of you may decide to dial us up, 412-825-6262. I got a couple of questions that were asked since you were here last anyway, Ed, that I promised I would. And we'll take it right up to the end of the hour, getting Pittsburgh a chance to ask their questions of the expert, Dr. Ed Kondrot. Be back in a moment.
Have you been to the doctor lately? Was fatigue top of your complaint list? Even if your doctor asks you what you eat, the recommended 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day is a dream in your busy schedule. What if you learned of a product 5 years in the formulation that delivers 5 servings of fruits and minerals in just 1 ounce? That's right, it's Fruit of the Spirit. The blessings of Fruit of the Spirit are now formulated into a delicious whole fruit puree product rich in antioxidants and minerals. Your health is more than just a test result. It's a balance of physical, spiritual, and emotional factors. You work regularly to strengthen your faith. Let Fruit of the Spirit help cover your nutritional needs in a convenient, cost-effective ounce a day. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. Fruit of the Spirit, 5 servings of fruits and minerals with no added sugars. That's 1-800-442-3793 for your good health. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you were looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. We're here today on our Monday version of the show with a favorite son of Pittsburgh, old friend of ours here, and just an extraordinary clinician in the area of eye disorder. Board certified ophthalmologist, but trained in so many other things. He's coming to town in a week. See you out there at the conference to be held at the Airport Marriott on Sunday, 10 o'clock. And then potentially you may be involved with a treatment seminar that you can learn more about and actually call Dr. Edward Kondrot's office if you know you really want to use one of those final slots that are open, 1-800-430-9328. Decide to open it up for questions from you out there in the public. I got a couple. And Ed, you still there with us?
Yep, I'm still here.
Oh, he's here. Now look, Ed, while we're waiting on, you know what? We had a caller in the meantime. Should bring them right ahead and let them ask their question first, and then I'll ask mine. Come right ahead. You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot. Go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Dr. Kondrot and Dr.
Good morning to you.
Hi.
I have floaters. I've been developing floaters in my eyes. I'm wondering what they're caused from, and is there any way to dissolve them or get rid of them?
What are the floaters, Ed?
Well, there are many causes for floaters. Typically, I like to define floaters as an increase in toxins in the eye. So anything that you can do to decrease the toxicity of your body, and it goes back to the basics. You are what you eat. So I begin looking at your diet. Are you eating primarily organic food? A lot of the food in your cupboard, does it have a label on it? Are you putting toxins in your body? So this is an early warning sign that your body is telling you that you are accumulating toxins. But as I tell all people who first develop floaters, it's important that you have an eye examination, because sometimes floaters are caused by a separation of the jelly inside the eye, the vitreous jelly. and this can be a precursor or the beginning of a slight retinal detachment. It's rare, but we always like to diagnose this early so it can be treated and taken care of before it leads to visual loss.
All right there, ma'am. I think you got to get that eye exam out of the way to make sure nothing really bad's going on, and then a detoxification program could be easily outlined for you to enable you to ultimately clear these floaters if it turns out it isn't due to one of the more serious causes. Fair enough?
That's good. And what type of doctor is it that I should see?
An ophthalmologist, and you could probably see Dr. Ed while he's in town.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay. Very good. I didn't realize. That's really interesting how you look at the floaters as a sign of toxicity.
And then I've had patients who underwent chelation therapy or changed their diet or begin to make sure their body's properly hydrated, find their floaters, diminishing and even disappearing.
Ultimately disappearing. Very good. You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot today. Get a chance to ask some more questions before we have to leave you at the end of the hour. 412-825-6262. I'll listen for your knock at the door. I got some questions here, Ed, that the listeners asked me from the last time you were on the show. Let me see if I can run one of these by you. This gentleman has been on my phone list a couple of times since then, and he is asking about an Italian study. I thought that was a pretty good question. It showed that some of the guys doing a lot of reading here. Evidently, there's an Italian study. Bodine is the name of the guy, the chief investigator, I think, using drops for the treatment of cataracts. And I didn't know how to answer them. I said, look, if there's a paper out there written about this, Dr. Kondrot more than likely to know about it. Are you familiar with the paper written?
I'm not if that's the study looking at N-carnosine.
Oh, that N-carnosine. I love you when you mentioned that. N-carnosine. Talk to me about N-acetylcarnosine. The Ruskies really helped develop that product, did they not? The Russians?
The Russians are really big with that, and I think it can be an effective drop in the early stages of a cataract, but it's not a shortcut. And so many people feel that, if I just take an eye drop or do this one thing, it gets back to the basics. Your proper diet, keeping yourself hydrated, reducing stress, and detoxifying the body. Those big four. But those drops can. In fact, my friend Dr. Rowan developed a formula, an eye drop formula that not only has the N-carnosine, but it also has high doses of vitamin C and some other trace minerals and nutrients in an eye drop form that I have found to be very effective. And that drop is called Oclumed, Oclumed.
And Bob makes this? Is it his product?
It's formulated through, I think, Washington Pharmacy.
Okay.
But it has, it's probably one of the few eye drops for cataracts that I have found to be somewhat successful. In other words, people begin taking this drop and they actually tell me, my vision's better. When I see people using just the plain N-carnosine or the Can-C drops, it's a really slow process, and I haven't seen dramatic improvements in vision. But once again, I have to emphasize that, these eye drops are not a shortcut to good health. You have to go to the basics.
Very good. In the meantime, another knock has come at the door. Come on the store. You with Dr. Edward Kondrot. Go right ahead.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Sure.
Dr. Kondrot, I have a man that's in her mid-70s. She's had a lot of trouble with retinal vein occlusions. And there's been somewhat resolved with laser. But now what's happening, last time she went to the specialist, he said she has 2 cysts in one of the retinal veins, which has really diminished her vision quite a bit. I wonder if there's any way you can dissolve those cysts.
Well, I would assume that these cysts are due to swelling in the eye.
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you.
The inflammation.
You can listen off air, ma'am, okay, because maybe it's a little trouble listening.
Yeah.
Go ahead, we'll give you a second.
By reducing the inflammation we have, we might be able to improve her vision. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the best ways to reduce inflammation is to reduce the toxic load in the body. And also we have therapies like microcurrent stimulation which reduces inflammation and reduces the inflammatory response.
It appears to be a whole litany of things that can be done, ma'am. But I think that the best thing would be show up, come on out, bring her out to the seminar on Sunday the 21st, and see if maybe during that time, Dr. Ed could spend some personal time with you all and find out if there's some treatments that you could even receive while he was in town, okay?
I'd like to say, that's an unusual thing for that to develop in the retina, isn't it? I've never heard of that before.
Well, I think he said that
it's not that unusual. It's not unusual to develop a small cyst after a vein occlusion.
Okay, ma'am, we're going to have to ask you to get off. You're making all sorts of feedback noises.
I don't have any radio on or anything, so I don't know
I don't know where that's coming from, then. It seems something has to do with your phone call, though. But look, I'm glad you got through. Let's hope that we can get some help for your with your friend or your relative, whoever you were talking about, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I haven't heard of those things, but you say cysts in the back of the eye, pretty common.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they're not common, but after a branch vein occlusion, sometimes you can get some swelling in the central part of the eye, which leads to a visual loss. It's called cystoid edema or macular edema. It's due to inflammation, and anything we can do to reduce the inflammatory response. And, of course, that begins with good nutrition and
it all comes back to the
excellent IV therapies. You know, our friend vitamin C can be very helpful in reducing inflammation. And some specialized procedures like microcurrent, homeopathy, even light therapy can reduce the inflammation.
Okay, I think we have another caller in the meantime. Come on the store. You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot. Go right ahead.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Sure.
And good morning, Dr. Ed.
Good morning to you.
Kondrot. I was at the optometrist on last week, and he said I had the beginning of a cataract, and I'd like to know what should I do about that?
Well, the first thing you need to do is to change your diet, keep your body well hydrated. There's many things that you can do for a cataract, and I hope
10 essentials. I think he needs to be at the seminar.
Yep, I think you need to show up.
10 essentials. There are 10 things you can be doing right now that wouldn't require really any professional intervention, and at the stage you're in might very well help turn this around. That's what I'm gathering from the conversation, at least. Come on out and see us. What do you think?
I think I will.
Come on out and learn what those 10 essentials are, and I think the answer to your question, instead of just being in a few moments, will evolve over 2 hours or so, and you'll walk away with a pretty good plan in mind. It'd be worth the trip, all right?
Sure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I think that would be the best thing for him, Ed. I hope you didn't mind me
No, not at all.
suggesting
I
it.
have to see you at the seminar.
You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot, 412-825-6262. I'll wait for a knock at the door. I think that's it for now. Anybody else out there knocking? Hello? No. Okay, I'll wait for a knock. Another question that was asked, you mentioned it a couple times. I'm going to ask it specifically now because I was asked about chelation with respect to results in eye disorders and in your practice. So over the course of a number of years now, I think the question was what has been your experience, Dr. Ed, using chelation in your practice with respect to the eye disorders?
Well, there's two patient groups that I really highly recommend chelation. That's the group that has eye problems and cardiovascular problems. So an individual who's maybe had a heart attack, who has some circulatory problems in the leg, and has macular degeneration, there's no question chelation can be of benefit. The second group is that group of people who have some type of toxic exposure. Maybe they have some evidence of mercury, lead, heavy metals in their body. Chelation can be of benefit. And I'm sure you have observed, Dr. Courtney,
both
like
cases.
most chelation doctors, that the visual system does improve after chelation therapy.
Yeah, first it was a surprise. Now I come to expect, really, these improvements. And for the two reasons you suggest, I back you 100%. Toxicity and just cleaning out the crud in these arteries is really an anticipated benefit that happens in the greatest percentage of these cases. We got more knocks at the door. Go ahead.
The other important thing is patients with glaucoma. One of the big problems with glaucoma is circulation to the optic nerve. And I really feel that chelation therapy can benefit these folks by improving the blood flow to the optic nerve, by helping the perfusion of the optic nerve to prevent further loss of vision, and in some cases actually improves the visual acuity.
So it's a big plus for chelation in your practice, huh? Chelation therapy.
Chelation therapy is a big part of it, especially in those patients that, as I mentioned, that has some evidence of toxicity or compromised blood flow, cardiovascular disease, etc.
Well, one of the things that we can do while you're not in town is we can continue these chelation programs so that the benefits keep on. It's just a long haul, nice, easy, leisurely pace, but chelation therapy can be done quite easily at the office, and I'm sure you'll end up just referring them over to see me in the interim period, right, Dr. Ed?
Yeah, because that's really I really appreciate your help in the program, because some folks need ongoing care, and what a better place to go than to get their weekly chelation treatments at your office and have their eyes monitored, and then we continue to fine tune it to help them continue to have an improvement of their vision.
Outstanding. More knocks are coming in. Come on in the store. You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot. Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Kondrot.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, on a follow-up question, thank you for asking the question, Dr. Courtney.
Oh, you were the one with the eye drops at the Italians, Bodine. Okay.
Yeah, the Dr. Bodini, University of Rome. This was published last August, and he was using eye drops, or they were, the team was, eye drops with a human nerve growth factor in the eye drops, and it was clearing up glaucoma and cataracts in 3 months. I don't know if you'd heard of that or not.
No, I'm not familiar with that particular study.
Send us the study. I mean, when I know he'd like to have a copy of it.
Well, let's see, it was published a little blurb in this January, February with Discover magazine this year, 2010. That's where I saw it at.
Okay, well, he hadn't heard of it, but that's not to say that his literature wouldn't reflect it. I don't know. Sometimes in these blurbs, how they end up, but Discovery magazine is usually a pretty honest periodical, but right now I can't comment because he's not aware of the study.
Okay, I'd fill you in on the. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the original question. Thank you for the follow-up. You're with Dr. Edward Kondrot. Next in the store, come right ahead with time clicking. Go right ahead.
Hey, Doctor, welcome back to Pittsburgh.
There you go, Ed.
Thank you.
We're going to come to your seminar on Sunday, but I'm concerned about my daughter. If she lives in Pittsburgh and her eyes are constantly tearing when she wakes up in the morning, they're glued shut practically, but when she leaves Pittsburgh, goes to Florida or anywhere else, she's perfect.
Well, there's some stuff going on. I don't know whether you think it's allergic responses to the sheeting, the soaps, and things like that. Ed, is that where you go first? Or do you think just environmentally there's so much?
I think there's something in the environment that's causing her problem. But then again, I think by strengthening the general health, not everybody who is in that situation will have watering eyes. So there's, in homeopathy, you look at weaknesses in the body.
And everything's organic. They don't buy anything unless it's organic.
Well, I don't know what her toxic load is, though. It talks about two sides of this equation.
Well, she lives near West Virginia area, and she blames the steel mills from there.
Well, certainly, you're on the wrong side of the wind. You could get really dumped on, depending on that West Virginia-Pennsylvania border. Bring her with you to the seminar.
Is there help for her, though?
Oh, there's always help. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to let her know.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. We're coming right to the end, Dr. Ed. Rather than abruptly having to say goodbye, I'll let you now, with a week to go, take the last moment or two to frame it, however you want to frame it, in anticipation of your arrival here a week from, well, not a week from today, actually, it's going to be probably Saturday, but we'll be out there Sunday on the 21st. What do you want Pittsburghers to know, Ed?
Well, I'm really excited to be coming back to Pittsburgh, and I look forward to seeing a lot of my old friends and patients, and you're all welcome to come to my seminar, which is being held on Sunday, March the 21st, at the Pittsburgh Marriott Airport Hotel, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to be talking about the 10 essentials that you can begin immediately to begin not only to improve your vision, but to improve your health. And, of course, Dr. Courtney, you're going to be there talking about chelation and IV therapies and some things that you can do to help folks, too. So it's going to be a great seminar, and I hope to see people there at the seminar. And then following that seminar will be my 3-day treatment program, so those folks that are interested in having an evaluation or treatment can sign up for that. So if you are interested, please give my office a call, and that's toll-free, 800-430-9328.
Yes, folks, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you out there next week, and I'm looking forward to. Well, it's always a fun time. You packed them in last time. They were swinging from the rafters when I arrived, and hopefully we'll have just as much as an energized group this coming week as we did back then. It was in December, Ed, and 4 times a year coming to Pittsburgh. You're going to be getting the question, where in the heck you actually do live? That's pretty frequent guest to come to town, and so are you a Pittsburgher? Or are you from Phoenix? I don't really. Well, I think I know the answer. You're
always a Pittsburgher.
You're always a Pittsburgher, especially with that unique bar out there that I got to visit when I come see you. All right, folks. This is probably the best time to bring it to an end. Hope to see you out there. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney with Dr. Edward Kondrot saying so long for and impact on your health.
AM Impact on Your Health is sponsored by Dennis J. Courtney, M.D., Director of the Courtney Medical Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray, Pennsylvania. For more information or to make an appointment, call 724-942-3000.